Hello, I'm Judge Greg Price with the Floyd County Juvenile Court. I'd like to welcome you to our YouTube channel. We have as our special guests here today Ms. Kirsten Thornante from the Rome City School, social worker, Ms. Jackie Trammell, who is the social worker, one of the social workers for the Floyd County school system. And we have Ms. Michelle Edmondson, who is one of our probation officers, who's going to be facilitating this presentation. And I will turn it over to Ms. Edmondson at this point in time.
Thank you, Judge Price. Just like to say good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are just using this time to gather resources for all the kids in Rome and Floyd County, and just wanted to know a little bit more about what the schools are doing to help our kids during this pandemic to continue with their education and different services that y'all are supplying during this time. So I'll ask the same questions for both. So after I ask a question, Ms. Thornante, if you want to go first, and then Ms. Trammell, if you want to answer after her for the county schools, that would be great. Our first question is, we know right now that both schools are supplying meals to the students, and we just kind of want to find out how those kids can get those meals if they do need to have them. Sure. Ms. Thornante?
So Rome City Schools is providing meals twice a week at each of our campuses. We're providing meals on Monday and on Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon on each campus. The thing about that is they're not only receiving 2 meals, they would be receiving meals for each day of the week. We're just only providing them 2 days a week in order to limit the exposure that our staff has with the public. So when they come on Monday, they'll get breakfast and lunch for 3 days, and when they come on Thursday, they'll get a couple days worth. So they just need to come 2 days.
Great.
Those meals, and those that schedule is going to be our summer feeding schedule as well. So that's going to continue like that throughout the summer.
And it'll be at the same locations as well?
Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ms. Trammell, how are the county schools?
We're doing the same thing. We serve meals on Mondays and Thursdays, just for the same reasons, just to limit the exposure. However, we don't do them all at our schools because we have so many. So the locations are listed on our website, but I'll go ahead and tell you where, and I have to read them because they're at different locations. We have Sherwood Forest Baptist Church, Riverside Park, which is at the baseball fields, Pine Village Community, Alto Park Elementary, Armuchee High School, Cave Spring Elementary, Garden Lakes Elementary, Model High School, Pepperell High School, Pepperell Middle, which is McHenry, the old McHenry. Dutch Gardens Community, and then Swan Lake Community, and those typically are start serving between 11 and 1, and those are all listed on our website.
And I should say also, I assume ours are as well, but ours are drive-through service. Yeah. So again, to limit that exposure, the families just drive up, and we're asking that people not get out and engage. We're trying to really limit the interaction and keep the spacing.
And another thing, any child under the age of 18 is eligible to receive a meal, but the child must be present to receive it, or if they're over 18, they have to be enrolled in school.
Okay. So, and Ms. Trammell, are the county schools also doing it through the summer at the same locations?
They will. However, they may add some locations because typically we've done summer feeding for so long, and they may add some locations, but that's to be determined still. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, ladies. How are each of the school systems delivering instruction to the students? How are our kids getting their work and doing their work at this time?
So today is May 4th, and I know this is going to be, online for people to watch going forward, but just for a point of reference, today is May 4th, and we have, Rome City Schools has actually stopped our new instruction and we are into remediation right now because we know that it's been challenging for students to kind of stay on top of things in this unique format that we're doing. So right now, between now and May 8th, we're in a remediation period where we're trying to, have the kids who are behind, who haven't completed work, to really catch up on that work and have, the time and attention that they need from the teachers. Our kindergarten, first and second grade got paper packets, and so their work has been on paper. And also back on April 6th at the food pickup, we gave out packets of school supplies, basic things like crayons, paper, pencils, things like that, because those primary grades kids are doing that hands-on work. And then 3rd through 12th went home with their Chromebooks or had the option to get a Chromebook since we've dismissed to this digital learning. And so they're able to do their work online. So right now, like I said, we're just in the remediation. So there's no new work coming out, but we do definitely want to encourage kids who have not completed their work to take this time to reach out to their teachers and work with their teachers. And the parents should all be in communication with the teachers through our information system and through school status. So definitely the teachers are available to help those kids with that catch-up work. We've also got a couple additional challenges that we're doing. We have a Rome Reads challenge, a math challenge, and a STEM challenge. And that information is all on our website, and those are totally optional, but they're just fun things for prizes and just to keep the kids engaged.
Wonderful. And how about the county schools, Ms. Trammell?
And we have done, similar. We've had a mix of both paper packets and online instruction, and that is K through 12. Most of our paper has been for elementary and primary, but they also had, all K through 12 had the opportunity to keep a Chromebook. Teachers have posted office hours and online teaching, K through 12, and they posted those mostly through Google Meet. We've had some Zoom, but we're Google based, so they've mostly hosted that. Since March 13th, our system has had 7,498 Google Meets. And those average about 36 minutes. And so that's anything from, teachers delivering direct instruction to, teacher meetings, as things like this, to, a counselor meeting with a student, to anything. There are also, we've posted many digital resources on our websites, and also there's just a multiple resources that teachers push out through Google Classroom to their students as well.
Wonderful.
I will say that the teachers at both school systems have just been amazingly resourceful and have really risen to the challenge. And that's also really important to say this week, because this is Teacher Appreciation Week. Yeah. And this is, appreciating all of the new things that teachers have had to do to teach their students that until a month and a half ago, we probably never even considered would be the way that they. So it's definitely provided challenges for the students and the families as well as the teachers, but it's just been great to see having to go to that digital platform and see the teachers still having the connections with the kids in all the ways that Ms. Trammell mentioned.
Right. And having a child in the school system, I've seen it working successfully. I know my daughter goes to at least 3 to 4 Google Meets a week with her teachers, so she's still seeing her teachers and getting that instruction time. She's still seeing her classmates and having that connection. And it's a wonderful opportunity that the school systems have really stepped up and really taken care of our kids. So I appreciate that as a parent.
Right.
Our next question, though, is what if kids don't have Wi-Fi at home? What are we doing for those kids?
So Rome City Schools was lucky enough to have a number of jetpacks on hand, and then we were able to get an extra 100 of them, and those are the mobile hotspots. So we were really strategic in making sure we evaluated who needed them to use those resources as well as possible. So if there was a family with multiple children who didn't have Wi-Fi, we were able to get it to them so their family could have access to that. So based on the needs that have presented themselves to us, of the families who have come forward and said that they were in need of that, we feel like we've met all of those needs for them to be able to use the Chromebooks that the kids have come home with. There are also a number of services for like low cost and free service right now through AT&T and Comcast, and obviously every family would need to check on the qualifications for that, but those have existed for a long time, and the companies have kind of modified what their eligibility guidelines are right now. So this would be a great chance for families to look into if they qualify for reduced cost or free service through whatever provider is in their area.
Right. And Floyd County that has done the same thing as well. We sent out a survey in late March to students to see to determine who actually did have Wi-Fi in the homes. And based on that, Floyd County schools purchased around about 190 Verizon hotspots to distribute to high school students because those were the main ones who have to actually earn credits.
Right.
And to graduate. And so I think they focused mostly on the high school students for the Verizon hotspots. And that's what met the need as well, coming back from the surveys too. And how we talked before, the primary and elementary could use the packets. So that's how we determined who needed them based on the surveys.
Well, thank you. I know they're working really hard to make sure everyone has access. What is being offered for emotional support or any kind of non-academic support? If I know kids are used to being in that structured environment in school and having those teachers there that may not have some of the better home lives, and they depend on those teachers for that emotional support or counselors. And how are y'all able to deal with some of that now?
So we have some really great social emotional lessons that we've put up for our elementary students that are completely optional, but we've provided that for students, but that's really a great resource for parents as well to be able to watch those lessons with their kids or have their kids play those lessons to kind of learn some decompression strategies and stress management, things like that. So those are available through the Google Classrooms as an option. Also, Rome City Schools has sent out, each school has their own survey that they sent out to parents and then another one to students, just checking in with them on a variety of things. And they're sending it out on a regular basis. Check in and say, how are you doing? Do you need resources for anything? Do you need to talk? Whatever concerns they might have, give them an opportunity to bring those to the forefront. And we've had counselors and teachers reach out individually to parents and students, in response to those surveys, just to really touch base with them. We have some Google folders that we put together with resources in it, and we can share those out with, the specific financial or food resources in the community, lots of social emotional resources that are even great for parents to look at. Parents who, might not normally reach out to the schools to kind of help with their children's social emotional needs. We're definitely finding that right now everyone's just in this uncharted territory, and we want them to know that we have some suggestions for them. There's not a one-size-fits-all. Sometimes you have to kind of look through a lot of what we're offering and see what you think would work for your child. But we do have some resources that we would be happy to share. And we've also launched a Rome City Schools survey for our teachers and staff to kind of check in with them, see how everyone is doing, and see what support we can offer to them during this time, because we know that a lot of our staff members are busy working and being full-time parents at the same time. And it's a lot to juggle, and it just presents a whole new world of challenges. So we don't have all the answers. None of us have been here before. So what we are learning is that we're able to kind of be there with people. And a lot of the time the being there with someone is what they need, just to know that they're not alone.
Right. Thank you. Ms. Trammell?
Mostly what we have done, our counselors have done an amazing job working with their students and students and families. What we started with is they updated their websites to, post resources that could be available during this COVID-19 time. And then we made sure they stayed in touch and made initial contact with the students that they already had, daily and weekly contact with already, to make sure, just to touch base with them to see how they were doing and that sort of thing, just like as a check-in to see how they were doing. And out of that, parents have been very responsive and appreciative of that call from a school counselor or social worker, but mainly, and again, this goes kind of with teacher appreciation, the teachers have worked tirelessly to stay in contact with these children and these kids and these families. And we have used teachers, as we always do, but it's different, to know what children and families need, and then to make contact with them. I know, like, an example was we had a parent who had been going through cancer treatments, and a counselor, had just a Zoom meeting with them, and then she and I were brought in like we would have a group meeting at school, but we did it on Zoom. So just things like that we've stayed in contact with families, just to support them and provide that extra support, just so they won't feel so isolated. So, and it is different in every school.
It's definitely going to be different. It's a different time, and we're all having to learn as we go. This is something none of us have ever been through before, and it is a learning curve for all of us. And hopefully one day we will get back to some semblance of normalcy at some point, but I know it's what we're having to do now. Do either of you have any last thoughts or anything you want to tell our kids?
One thing that I did forget to mention was our pop-up market. That Floyd County Schools host once a month, but I think we have a lot of volunteers all over the community. I know people in the city and all over the community come help to volunteer to distribute that food, and that is once a month. And the next one is May 13th, and that anybody can come to that. It is typically, since COVID, it has been in Grizzard Park, but I think it's gotten so large they may even change the location again, and that will be posted on Floyd County Schools Facebook page if they change it. The best thing for families to do is to pre-register on Floyd County Schools Facebook page. That doesn't mean you won't get food. It just helps prepare to know how much food needs to be ordered. So that is not, there's no income, it's not income based, and it's great food, it's fresh.
And hearing you mention the Facebook page, Jackie, I want to say that I know that this applies to both school systems, that really the best thing that that families can do right now in terms of figuring out what resources are available and what's going on is just continue to check the social media of both school systems.
Yes.
One thing that I know we've all witnessed is just how quickly things change and evolve as new information comes out and as situations change. And so while I don't think that anything that we've told you today is not going to be true next week, it's just so important to know that when changes occur, both systems are going to post those on their Facebook page. Right. So it's important for parents to keep an eye on that. for whatever the up-to-date information.
I mean, things change daily in this weird time. And so I think that is something that we constantly watch. We get emails every day, and it could change, as officials change information. So that's something that we encourage parents to watch as well.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies,
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us here today. Thanks, Ms. Edmondson, for being our host here today. We hope that both of you and everyone in the Rome City and the Floyd County schools will hunker down, so to speak, and keep yourself safe. I know that the kids are probably looking forward to getting back to school to see their teachers and their friends. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. And again, thank you very much. We will close this out at this time.